Let's see if there's any more on here. MCFC home and away. Do you feel like the academy isn't being used in its full for its full potential? We have a great academy with amazing facilities and coaching, but we're struggling to get young lads in the first team. Tough one. Depends. I think you need to answer this in one way, and that is it being used to its full potential? Well, you need to try and understand what is the question is, what is the full potential, and what is the model? Because I think the model has changed. I really do. I think over the last couple of years the model has changed, and it's become very much like Chelsea's, whereby we're trying to buy in the best talent around the world, integrate them into maybe the under-18s and the EDS, and then seeing whether anyone has got that special talent that can stay around the first team. If not, they're sent on loan, and then, if we bought somebody in for 1-2 million euro, we potentially can sell them for 10, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20 million euro in the next few years, which all goes into the pot, which goes towards players that we can buy that are directly going to be playing for the first team. So it's like this big vicious circle. It's quite difficult, and I think we need to get away from this sort of naive idea that this academy is going to be full of Manchester youth players and they're going to be the ones that will progress into the first team, and it's not going to happen. It's that simple. It is not going to happen. The days of the class of 92, 93, whatever, they're gone. You look at people pundits point out to Spurs and say, oh, look at all the young players. Well, look at all where they came from. They didn't come from the Spurs academy. They came from other academies and went out on loan, and they came back and they've done well. But they won nothing. Absolutely nothing. Spurs have won absolutely nothing. So I guess it depends on what you want as a Man City fan. Do you want the academy directors and the board and Pep and everyone else to be saying, well, let's just take 5 or 6 of the kids, put them in, and we'll get rid of who? Who we're going to get rid of out of the squad? Bench players, first team players. Who are these players going to replace? Bernardo Silva, David Silva, Fernandinho, Sterling, Sane, Aguero, Gabriel Jesus, Gundogan, John Stones, Emerick Laporte, Vincent Kompany, Walker, Benjamin Mendy, Delph, Danilo. I mean, this is where we are. We're at a point whereby we've got such an amazing squad. It's like, well, who's going to miss out? Who are these so-called wonder kids going to come in and replace? Because there's only so many positions that you can put in a team, which is 11, and then the bench. And if you're going to add 3 or 4 more kids into the team, 1, they have to be exceptionally good, and 2, who's going to be the senior player that's going to say, sorry, today we're going to get rid of you and you're going to go home and we're going to put this kid on the bench? And it don't work like that. I think people sometimes get a bit naive and wrapped up in this whole thing, and I think to get into the Man City sort of squad, around the elite squad, training day in, day out, is a massive feat. And we've seen the likes of Diaz and Foden and others who have, made that leap. But they're exceptional talents. So, you can't just add in some kids and go, oh, come and join us, and oh, right, okay. And then next week, oh, we'll put you on the bench. And it's like Ilkay Gundogan going home going, I'm a German international. What's this kid done? Is he better than me? No, he isn't. So it's a difficult one. I think the academy profile and the model has changed. I think it is one that is going to recruit the best talent around the world. We've seen the likes of the Spanish kids come in. We've seen some others that have gone on loan. We've seen ones who've left, like Jadon Sancho, and he's gone to Dortmund. And I think he's done really well. But I think I think it's been overhyped, let's say. Let's see where Jadon Sancho is in 2-3 years' time. Jadon Sancho, sorry. Let's just see. So, yeah, I think we have to look at the model first at Manchester City and say that it's there to make money, first and foremost. Secondly, if we can get some local kids coming through, one every year, one every couple of years, it'd be wonderful. Likes of Phil Foden, but I think we've been naive to think that the academy is not working if we've not got one local kid coming through every single season. I think that's a wrong approach, because I don't think that's what the model of Manchester City or many academies are these days. So let's just embrace what we get. And if that means some of the kids that have come through and have been schooled at the academy and educated at the academy go on to play for other clubs, professional clubs, and play for international clubs, then wonderful. It's about giving. Let's not be sort of selfish and think about us as fans, and think about them as persons, as kids, and their career, because it's about them. So I know what it's like seeing a very good family friend who used to play for Liverpool is now on loan somewhere else and play for Wales. So, you know, it's about them and their dreams of playing professional football. And it doesn't always have to be at Manchester City or the club that they're at. They put a lot of time and effort, and their parents do, into that. So let's not be so selfish and just think, well, if we don't get one local kid through every single season that's into the first team, then it's a failure, because it's not. It certainly isn't. So yeah, that's my answer. Sorry, it's a long one. MCFC home and away, but it's one I've mulled over for many an hour when people have asked about it, and it's a difficult one. And like I said, having experience of friends, close friends, kids who are in that position, I know what it's like. I know what it feels like, and it's sometimes as fans we get carried away a little bit with it. So we need to sort of think it's about the kids, it's about them, it's about their education, about their footballing education. And if they make it somewhere else, then so be it. You know, at the end of the day, their dreams are coming true. Yeah, maybe we'd like to see them at Man City, but that's life. It's a tough world out there, so and no tougher than in the football industry. So I think we have to be realistic.
Okay, next question from Sempre Libre again, and basically, I'll paraphrase here, he's asking if when the rest of the North Stand will be expanded. You know, City have already got the planning permission to expand the stadium, add a third tier at one end. I think right now we're about 55,000 capacity. I think we can go up to 62 if we were to do that. And you're also asking whether we'll go up to 70,000. Honestly, I can't see us going to 70,000 in my lifetime unless we start doing something differently to get people into the ground. I mean, you could see against Lyon, we struggled to get 40,000 into the ground. A capacity that day would have been 52, 53 or whatever it was. And we're struggling. And yeah, even at home games in the league against the lower teams, we're struggling. So we wouldn't do it just as a money-making exercise. I think if financial fair play had been tighter against us, we might have looked at doing the expansion, getting those extra 7,000 seats, because the way financial fair play works is building infrastructure and the stuff on the academy actually doesn't count towards financial fair play. So we could go and spend 50 million on a stadium and it doesn't count towards financial fair play. So City could have looked at it and said, look, you know, against Liverpool and Man United and a couple of other teams, we're going to fill the ground, we're going to get an extra 7,000 seats, and you know, we're charging, let's say, 50 or 60 quid per seat. We can get an extra 4 million quid or whatever it is. I'll work it out one day. You can't believe I used to be an accountant. So yeah, for 7,000 seats, we can get an extra 50 quid. You know, what's that? It's going to be an extra, not even 500,000, sorry. So, you know, we might get an extra £1 or £2 million a season from this expansion. And is it worth it? You know, but for the rest of the season, it's going to look even more empty. So I don't think we'll expand until we're really banging on the door and we have thousands of people waiting for season tickets, or thousands of people not being able to come to games because we're sold out. So I can't see it, honestly. 70,000, I can't see it, as Fergie once said, not in my lifetime. 60,000, 62,000, we need to be filling a stadium on a regular basis to even contemplate that. Another one from Semper Liber, asking about what we think about City's financial results. Well, ever since the takeover, I've been very interested in the finances of City. More so in the first few years, when financial fair play was more of an issue, more of a problem, more of a burden and a hindrance and a cost to City, because we did get fined once, and I think overall it cost us 10 or 15 million quid. We took, as Khaldoon said, we took the pinch. So I'm interested in the results, and they just get better and better and better. Now, obviously, some of that is organic, some of that is hard work. I mean, just by being where we are in the Premier League, the TV money's gone up. So how hard have we had to work to get there, to get that TV money? Well, you get a certain amount of TV money, and then the rest is based upon appearances, let's say, and prize money and stuff, and where you finish. So that's going to be on the pitch as well as in the background. But the TV money's gone up. The Champions League money's rocketed as well, with BT getting involved and pushing Sky around. We get money for obviously things like the Amazon documentary, 10 million quid apparently. And so our financial results have been getting better and better and better. And another big source of income in recent times is selling the kids, selling people like Angus Gunn for 12 to 15 million quid, selling Kelechi Iheanacho for 25 million quid, selling Angelino and Denia and Mafio and others, Enis Unal, not this summer, it was the summer before, for about 12 million quid. So I think that gets us between 40 and 50 million quid a season. I think that's what City are hoping in the medium term, that we're just going to send kids out on loans and sell others and make that sort of money to help us with our finances and against financial fair play. Right now, I have no worries about financial fair play. And City, we were making too much money. I think the last set of results, we made a decent profit. I think that's 3 or 4 seasons on the bounce that we made a decent profit. Our turnover's still going up. We've still got so many areas that we can get more money. We're going to get the Puma deal for the kit deal. So that's going to get us somewhere in the region, I expect, of about 30 million quid extra every single season. We'll keep going out and getting new deals with new sponsors. And I don't think we have anything to worry about. Our financials, as I said, are very, very good. We can go out and spend 200 million quid if we want, 300 million quid. If someone said to us that Kylian Mbappe was available and it was going to cost us 250 million quid, do you want him? And if we want him, we can go and spend the money. You might think, oh no, it's too expensive, how are we going to afford it? And, are we doing financial doping, as some of the people like Wenger and others have said? We're not. We can comfortably afford to spend 100, 150 million. It's a bit more uncomfortable to spend 200, 250 million, but we can do it. And the finances are there. Believe you and me, I'm very confident of that, 100% confident of that. So brilliant results, and we'll just keep on going from strength to strength. Last question from Michael Keohane 1, and he's basically saying, how can we stop people leaving early? The early doubters, apparently it grinds his gears. It is very frustrating. I'll hold my hand up and say, in the past I've left early. Sometimes out of necessity, for night games with my kids. We stayed to the end at Lyon because we were losing 2-1, and we were hoping that we could score, and we stayed right to the end. But my kid and me, by the time I got him to bed, it was after 11 o'clock at night. Now he's only 10. I think he was 10 years old at the time. He's 11 now. It's too late for a kid. It's absolutely too late for a kid to be out at 10. Getting to bed at 11:30 at night. So there is a reason why some people leave early. Some others leave. I know some people were going back to Nottingham or to London, and they just got to leave early to avoid the traffic. Now I'm filming. It's not so bad. I'm going to stick around for an hour after the game, and by then most of the traffic has died down. But for other people, they need to get away. Driving back to Nottingham is going to take you a good 2 hours, and if you get stuck in the traffic and it takes you an extra half an hour, I can see how frustrating and problematic that might be, especially if you've got work the next day. So, you don't know people's reasons for leaving early, and I'm not going to castigate anybody because they paid their money and it's their choice. It's a free world in most places, so they've got the freedom to do whatever they wish to do. I was disappointed, I'll be quite honest, that so many thousands of people were leaving before the end against Lyon. And I kind of figured it out. They were used to leaving. They're used to leaving a few minutes early, so they leave early. But that night, as I said, we struggled to get 40,000 into the ground. So in my opinion, there was no need for them to leave early. Absolutely no need. And by the time we left the ground, we stayed maximum, we stayed to the end of the game, and probably, I think I did an interview with somebody right after the game on the concourse. So, maximum 10 minutes after the final whistle is when we left. There was no one there. We could walk out of the ground, you could walk to your car, you'd probably get out of the car park really easily. I mean, we stayed only a short while afterwards, maybe half an hour or so extra outside the ground, and then we left. We walked to the car, got in the car, drove out, no queues, no traffic whatsoever. So no queues whatsoever. So I think, on that particular night, people could have stayed longer. There was absolutely no reason, in my opinion, for them to leave early. But I mean, maybe they're so used to it. They're so used to the traffic, because I've been stuck in the traffic for over an hour trying to get out, past the ground or out of the ground or whatever. So I can see why people leave. But what can we do to make them stay? I don't really know. We can't force people to stay. I think if we can get more in the ground in the first place, that's more encouraging. And if we can keep the atmosphere and the noise level up, maybe that might encourage a few more to stay a little bit longer. But honestly, I couldn't, put my finger on a way to make people stay longer than they choose to stay right now.
Anyway, last question from the word ones is, this is the cleat shall set you free. Guitar in the back, are you a musician? I think he's referring to the guitar that's in the background. Am I a musician? No, I'm certainly not. I wish I was. That was bought for me by my wife about, about 10 years ago. And I said I used to play the guitar when I was at school, and I really enjoyed it. I never really did anything with it. And then obviously I travel all over the world, and I always thought, it'd be nice to take a guitar away, and if I'm on the beach or wherever, and play the guitar. And so I said to my wife, look, I'd really like a guitar, and I'd really like to take some lessons. 10 years ago, it's still sat there. How many lessons have I had? Nada. I've played around with it. I've done some YouTube stuff where I've tried to sort of watch and play along to riffs from Oasis and things like that, and I can play a few little bits and pieces, but on the whole, no, I'm garbage. Anyway, my question to you is there any City fans out there that want to give Andy from Man City Fan TV some free lessons just to get the basics right? Because my wife goes mental at the fact that she has to clean, and it's constantly there all the time. And I'd love to nothing more than to be able to just pack it up and take it away with me when I'm away, and I'll practice in my bedroom, in my hotel, or on the beach, or wherever. So if you're a guitarist, I know Esteemed Company is an ex-guitarist, but I'm not sure you want to offer me, Man City Fan TV, some free lessons. But if there's anyone else out there that you think, yeah, I'll come along, I'll come to your house, or we'll meet up and I'll show you the basics and things, then I'm all up for it, absolutely. Maybe we could film it and do a video on it. That'd be quite funny, listening to me sort of stringing along and screaming out some Oasis tunes or whatever it is that you want to teach me. So get in touch with us at mcfcfantv@gmail.com. And yeah, I'd love it. It'd be great. So anyway, that's it for, I think. Well, no, it's not it for part 3, because there are just a couple of more quick questions which I'm going to answer. So, right, last ones, and this is the last one, I promise. There's a couple here. Andy or Ray, what's your best City moment from back in the pre-takeover days? For me, it was the Gillingham playoff finals with the magnificent fight back and a penalty win. That was from Ulrich Trollheim, who sends quite a few on here. I think Ray mentioned something in his video earlier. Two or three things, main things for me. One was the 5-1 at Main Road. I was there, and that was just wonderful because we were at such a time where we were garbage, and yet that game was just incredible. I remember climbing over fences from the north stand into the east stand, and just to be with my mates because we got separated, and it was just celebrating that goal. That wonderful cross by David White and that header, it was just a great day. Then obviously Gillingham. I wasn't there actually. I didn't go to Wembley that day. I think if I remember rightly, I'd actually gone sick for a flight. I should have been flying, and I went sick just so I could make sure I watched it. And I remember I went to a local pub, and my wife will go mad at me telling you this. And I went to a local pub to watch it, and I went in and out. Every time there was a goal scored, I went in or out of the pub. Rang it, sort of say, oh no, it's 2-0 or it's 1-0 or... And I missed the goal, came back in the pub, saw the goal, then went back out again. I was that drunk. And then watched the playoffs and then walked home through Milnrow. And I literally bounced off every single wall, house wall, flower pot, you name it. I don't know how I got home, but I don't think I've ever been that drunk in all my life. And I literally was singing and I was bouncing off I think it took me to walk, 500 metres. I think it took me about 3 hours because I ended up so many times on my arse, singing, laughing to myself, to nobody else. Everyone must have been driving past thinking, look at that idiot. I was just bouncing off walls all the way home singing. So that was a wonderful day. I was gutted. I should have been flying that day, and I actually went sick, and I couldn't get a ticket at the last minute, so I decided to watch it in a pub with some friends. So that's a great day. And then you've got 93-20, which I'm not going to go there. I mean, it's just the most incredible day. Still getting goosebumps now. Ray, I love that you taught some children in France to love City. Hopefully they can put it in a good word for Mbappe. That was from Unun Septium. Yeah, that was in reply to some of Ray's comments earlier, which Ray does some fantastic work for charity, certainly kids charities. So I'm sure Ray will tell you at some point in the future about some of the stuff that he does, but Ray's a really lovely guy and does some great work. Blaine Gowans, would you rather have free Man City tickets or free all tickets to the World Cup 2022? I replied to this actually, and I turned around and said, why on earth would I want to go to Qatar in the middle of the summer to watch an international when I can have free tickets for City? Ain't going to happen. Finally, what do you think of the most defining moments in City's history? Well, I've said it, I've answered it, and that was from Iona Beats. So anyway, guys, it's Sandy from Man City Fan TV. I hope you've enjoyed the Q&As. We're not going to do any more. It's been hard work doing this one. But don't forget, check out the Burnley pre-match interview with Scott, who's doing a charity event. And we'll see you soon.